I'm a 56-year-old man dealing with a situation involving my daughter and new girlfriend that has completely torn our family apart. My wife died tragically at just 51 years old in a car accident, and I spent about a year in deep mourning afterward. Around January, I met my current girlfriend Brenda, who is 43. She was literally the first person who made me laugh after my wife's death, and I can't express how much that meant to me during such a dark time. Brenda is an incredible woman. She's brilliant with 3 Ivy League degrees, has this dark sense of humor that perfectly matches mine, cooks amazing meals, and honestly, I can see myself spending the rest of my life with her. She's also on the heavier side, which unfortunately becomes very relevant to this story. I have 2 children, my son Ray, who is 25, and my daughter Mackenzie, who is 19. Both of them knew I had started dating someone new before I introduced them to Brenda this past summer. The introduction went completely differently with each of them. Ray hit it off with Brenda immediately, and they get along great. Mackenzie, however, was incredibly standoffish from the very first meeting. I could feel the tension radiating from her the entire time. After that initial meeting, I pulled Mackenzie aside and asked if something was bothering her about Brenda, but she completely denied having any issues. Despite Mackenzie's cold shoulder, Brenda made several genuine attempts to connect with her over the following months. She tried talking about Mackenzie's college classes, asking about her interests, even offering to help with things around the house when Mackenzie visited. Every single attempt was rudely rejected or met with one-word responses. When Thanksgiving rolled around, both Ray and Mackenzie came home for dinner. I knew this could be tense, so I specifically asked Mackenzie beforehand to please just be polite during the meal. I explained that Brenda had been nothing but gracious and kind to her, and the least she could do was show basic respect in return. Mackenzie just shrugged and said fine. The dinner started out okay for the first 10 minutes or so. We talked about Ray's job, Mackenzie's classes, normal family stuff, but I kept noticing Mackenzie staring daggers at Brenda throughout the entire meal. Brenda was being her usual warm, engaging self, asking questions and trying to keep conversation flowing despite the obvious tension. Then came the moment that changed everything. Brenda got up to serve herself a third helping of mashed potatoes, and that's when Mackenzie struck. She looked directly at Brenda and said, "Don't you think you've eaten enough, you fat pig?" The words hit like a physical blow. Brenda immediately burst into tears and ran to the bedroom. I felt my face turn bright red with anger and embarrassment. I told Mackenzie to get out of my house immediately, and she left without another word. About 30 minutes later, once I had calmed down slightly, I texted Mackenzie with my conditions. I told her I would no longer pay her college tuition unless she did 2 things. First, she needed to give Brenda a sincere apology, and second, Brenda needed to accept that apology. I thought this was more than fair given the circumstances. Mackenzie must have assumed I was bluffing because instead of apologizing, she doubled down. She texted back saying Brenda deserved what she got and that someone needed to put her in her place. That's when I knew she wasn't taking me seriously. I logged into her university's tuition payment website, canceled next semester's payment, and sent her the screenshots as proof. Only then did she realize I was serious. She called me crying and begging me to reconsider, but I told her my decision was final. Now I'm wondering if I went too far. Am I the asshole for cutting off my daughter's tuition over her disgusting comment toward my girlfriend?